And I welcome you back to the Debrenick channel. And today we are talking about Lake Oroville. We are looking at yesterday's footage from Steve. He went up there and he got plenty of footage for me. And wow, that is some crazy interesting footage there. Thank you, Steve, for all your hard work. And let's give Steve a round of applause because he's doing wonderful and we appreciate his hard work. Let's continue to roll on here. We are talking about Lake Oroville up here, and these inflows have really increased. Look at the amount of precipitation that has fallen in the last 72 hours. You're talking over 6 inches of precipitation here. And then over here, you're talking about 5.63. Come up to Shasta up here. Here's Redding. You can see Shasta didn't get near as much, and they really needed it. Trinity especially. Trinity over here didn't receive a whole lot of anything in the last 72 hours. More of it was in the Oroville area, and then the American River like Folsom as well received a ton of precipitation as well, and then down here as well. So we keep on scooting down. You can see there's pockets of 4 to 6 inches everywhere. Here's another 4. Here's another 4. So a lot of precipitation has fallen. Records have been shattered all across here. My friends at Havasu City, you guys been lucky. You have received absolutely nothing in the last 72 hours. So fantastic news here. We are talking about a ton of precipitation that has already fallen. You can see this part up here in Oregon that they can get no precipitation, which is bad because they definitely needed some up in here. This is a moderate severe drought. So if they could get a little bit of precipitation here, that would definitely help with the drought. But you can see northeast California didn't receive hardly any precipitation as well, 0. So they definitely need some up here, but the mountains are pretty well just wringing it out like a sponge, like you would a sponge and when you're drying it all out. So tons of precipitation. The atmospheric river, also called the Pineapple Express, will continue, and this is going to be very wet for quite a while. I was just looking at the 16-day forecast, and it looks like you get a little bit of a break, but then right back into it. So it's going to be wet for quite a long period of time. So if you're in a floodplain, once again, I can't state it enough, just please be vigilant, please be safe, do not cross running water. It will only take 2 inches of water for your vehicle to be swept away, so keep that in mind. If you don't know the area, do not cross it, take other routes, or just wait it out, wait till the water recedes, because it's not worth you passing away for trying to get across something that really you shouldn't even be trying. And this is what I'm talking about. The next 10 days, you're talking another 8 inches or so here at Lake Oroville on top of the 5 that already fallen. And even down here by the dam, they're talking about 7 more inches. And then up here at Shasta, they're talking about 6.9, which is good if that comes to pass. And Trinity, another 6. They definitely have the storage space. Oroville does not have the storage space for this no longer. And crazy. How much of this is new snow? Just a little bit. These are higher grounds up here, just 32 inches, and then up here 50 inches. So a lot of this is going to be in the high country, which they don't need any more snow. We're all aware of this. This has really changed from just 1 year ago. Let's even look over here like in the Colorado River. You're talking about 16 inches, and this is the GFS, and the Europeans calling for about 20. So you can definitely see a difference. This spot in Oregon I was just talking about needs a lot of precipitation as well. One of my viewers who always bugs me about the Cerro Gordo mine asked me to talk about the Cerro Gordo mine. You're going to get 1.1 inches in the next 10 days in the European model, and the GFS is calling for 7.6. So you're going to be somewhere between 1.1 and 7.6 rain accumulations. You're talking about 2.56 for the GFS and 1.07 inches for Cerro Gordo. And I'm not going to go too far deep into it because it's a long way out. Let's check the tropical tidbits real quick and we'll see that, and then we'll get into the numbers for today. You can see the system still running through. You can see that it's coming through. Here we go. We are 24 hours in. Here comes all this rain and precipitation, and it's hitting 30 hours in, and it's still raining. And you can see how much this is yellow and very little blue in here. This is all rain for the most part, and then it turns to snow as it gets tonight. 42 hours, 48 8 hours, it starts to scoot out. It's moving over into Nevada, Utah, Colorado. See this storm start to scoot away. It does dry out for just a bit, but it's getting ready to get wet once again. Here comes the next system, another low system coming through about 174 hours out, and that system moves through fairly quickly, followed up by another storm that's coming through that's a little bit more powerful at the 222 mark, and that one lingers for a little bit, and that's more snow driven in the higher country, unlike this last one. And then it starts to squeeze out, turns into a low up here. You got this low spinning out here, and then we continue to scoot, and here comes some more precipitation after that. We are currently at the 300-hour mark. That one ain't near as intense, but here comes another one at the 342 mark, and then another one starting to brew at the 338. You can see it out here. We'll see. And then the Midwest may have to watch out for a snowstorm within the next 16 days possibly. It's been a very cold March compared to February, which was much warmer here in the Midwest. So let's continue to roll. We are rolling out to the California Data Exchange Center, and we are talking about the snow water equivalents in inches. So for this date, this is your normal 173%, 166%. Check out Central 223, 213, and the Southern is 257 and 247. And like I said many times in many other videos, as the date gets closer to April 1st, these numbers will come together, and you can clearly see that these have risen quite a bit since then. So they were at 257 and 247. They're only 10% apart because you're getting closer to your April 1st date. So it's probably going to end somewhere in the middle unless a big rainstorm comes in and melts it. But this is just insane amount. You're talking almost historical averages. I have misspoke on that before. This has been the second snowiest season since we started this process, and boy, we have been watching this all year if you've been following my channel at all. And this is crazy. It all started back around December 3rd. The middle of January to the beginning of February was a little bit dry, but ever since then it has just been nonstop. Since February, it's just been week after week. We have received a ton of precipitation. And as a matter of fact, you're talking average snow water equivalent in inches is 54.5 inches in the south. In the central is 55.7 inches in the central, and the north having a staggering 48.4 inches of water. Basically, that's like 4 feet of water. Across the land, that's your average. For the state, you're talking about 53.4 inches is your average. That is insane. So the average for the state's 206 and the percentage for the state's 215. You're going to end up over 200 by April 1st on this date, possibly, unless rain comes and melts it quickly. And like some people say, the rain will just actually soak it up and it won't melt quickly because there's so much of it. So, which will make more of a problem at the end, and it puts more strain and weight onto a house structure, which could cause collapse, and it's dangerous. So I just pray for these people that are having problems, and many people's lives have been affected by this storm. This is definitely one for the history books, no doubt about it, and it's been interesting to watch, scary to report on at times. It's just not letting up. Who knows when it will end? It will end eventually, just like drought does, just like floods do. They all come to an end eventually. It's just a matter of what time that is. Here we are. I have reported on it, and I'm actually correct, unfortunately, but I mean, I wanted it to rain, but I sure the heck didn't want it to flood, and here we are, and it's flooding. So we still could have the Colorado River do a change before too much longer as well. If you remember back in 83 and 84, 84 was worse than 83, and 83 was a shocker to them, and they had no idea. And I have reported on that before, where 83 was not expected around this time. It wasn't until May they realized they were in trouble. So let's keep a watchful eye on the Colorado as well. And there's rain coming to the system, so it's just a matter of time. They may receive heavy snow, and this pattern's setting up just like 83 did. So it's a very good possibility that we could end up having a similar predicament. History does repeat itself in weather more times than not. Let's keep on rolling on out to Lake Oroville next. Here we are at Lake Oroville, and you can see that your inflows have really picked up. They're only let 14,900 out. They did bump it up to 15,000. I'm sure they were in the Hyatt power plant a little bit more. You're at 14,990 out. this last hour, and you have 37,158. So this thing is on the rise again. Current water levels 842.75. The good thing about a spillway is you can control the release. So you have way less coming out than you have coming in, which that's what spillways are designed for. They're designed to hold back water and keep the depth from coming up too quickly, causing them to have to release too much water all at once. The lake did come down the last couple days just a little bit because the inflows were the same as the outflows. So the outflows were around 14,000, almost 15,000, and they had 14,000 and just a little under that. So the water level was staying around, maybe minus a little bit. But since then, since all this rain has started piling on there, now these inflows have increased to 37,000. 38,000 was the highest thus far. So we'll be watching this to see what it ultimately ends up happening. And your storage acre feet's 2,712,280. Your water level's 842.75. So you still have a lot of room in the reservoir. Luckily, you're still within 50-foot margin, but we've seen how fast it could come up. But you have to remember that the lake is shaped like a V, and when the lake does come up, especially as it gets closer to the top, it takes a lot more water for it to reach another bit. But just look at it in the last 12 hours. It was at 841.38. Now it's at 842.75. So this continues to go up, and we will watch this over the course of time. And let's continue to roll on and down to Lake Shasta next. Here we are at Lake Shasta. They have high inflows, they have low outflows. They have stored a lot more than Lake Oroville, but it has more storage acre feet than Lake Oroville does. It's got 2,906,735. Your outflows are 1,814. Your inflows are 34,014, and you can see that it's starting to pick up as well, so that's good. Your current water level is 1,003.56. That's your elevation. Let's continue to roll down to Trinity's inflows and outflows next. Here we're at Trinity, and you can see that they just don't have very many CFS coming in. They have more going out. Their current water level is 2,232.25. They have not talked about the storage acre feet, the outflows or the inflows this hour, but they did last hour. You're 2,005 out and 2,758 in, and it's been all over the place. This has been a constant 2,000 to 2,005, so we'll be watching this. Your last storage acre feet was 810,554. So this is what we got here, and let's roll down to, somebody said Lake Isabella. Let's see what's going on there. Let's see if we can find that next. Here we are at Lake Isabella, and you can see that their elevation was not shown this last hour. They have a ton of inflows coming through right now. They are currently at 7,977. Your outflows are 572. Storage acre feet is 255,937, and your current elevation is 2,573.02 feet. And they have received 18 inches of rain there at Lake Isabella. And let's continue to roll on back to the water storage shed next. Here we are at our final stop today. We are at Lake Folsom here, and you can see that their outflows are 24,813. Your inflows are 26,860. So you're more coming in than going out. Your current storage acre feet is 54,510, and your current water level is 423.22, and it continues to climb. So that is all I have for that. Let's go look at percentage of capacity, which basically has to do with this storage acre feet, and we will go look at that right now. Here we are at California Majors Water Supply Reservoir, and I will just do a few of them real quick. You have Shasta at 63, Trinity at 33%, Oroville at 76%, Kachuma at 78%, Folsom at 57%, Diamond Valley at 60%, and New Malone's at 50%, and that is the lowest now. The two lowest are New Malone's at 50% and Trinity at 33%. Everything has come up, so everything's climbing except for Trinity. Trinity still needs a lot of precipitation. Let's hope that they receive the 6 to 7 inches of precipitation that is being forecasted for that reservoir in the next several days. They definitely could use it, and that is all I have for today. Thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you on the next one. God bless.